things change,
Mhm.
right? Like things will come up in like culturally.
Whoa.
Why can't I say that word?
Culture. Oh no.
I saw that. We both do this thing right before we start recording where we take like one last swig of our drink and you just
And that
like
was
drooled
just-
it all down your chin.
That was a tragic. Just got a hole in my chin.
It's okay.
Hi.
It's relatable.
Yeah.
Hi.
Just panic drinking my
Relatable.
sparkling water.
I was panic drinking my coffee. Welcome to Inner Archaeology.
Yes.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Emily. And Inner Archaeology is all about us digging into the beliefs that shape our reality. It's our favorite thing to talk about. And it just doesn't
It really
ever
is.
end.
And it doesn't end.
I know. I keep wondering, like, because we've been recording this
for a
podcast for a year. And I keep having these thoughts, but you know what? This is interesting because I think this is just like a scarcity thing where I'm like, we're going to run out of like things to talk about, but we don't. And I don't think we ever will.
It's interesting that you say that. I think from being a copywriter for like almost 10 years or so, I know that you don't run out of things.
Yeah.
That's a thing that people ask me a lot. They're like, I want to write in like health and wellness, but I'm afraid I'll run out of things to say. And I'm like, you will not, my friend.
I know. Because you tell me, how long have you been doing your YouTube channel? And you've been releasing how many videos a week?
I have no idea.
It's like many years.
I think it's 4 years.
And
I actually have no idea.
Is it several a week? 1 a week? 2 a week?
It's 1 a week. I actually used to do more. I used to do 2 a week, and I was like, I cannot.
And I sometimes I think about that, like especially when I'm feeling like content scarcity. I'm like, Sarah's been doing that YouTube channel for like years, and she still has stuff that she's talking about. It's weird,
and
though.
Things change, right? Like things will come up in like culturally.
Whoa!
Why can't I say that word?
Oh no! Now I don't know what the real.
Did I fuck it up for you? Cultural. I've never had a hard time with that word before. I can't say rural. Do you have a word you can't say?
Oh my God. Rural's a hard one.
Rural.
Have you ever seen, there's the 30 Rock episode where there's a movie and the movie is The Rural Juror and nobody can understand what the name of the movie is? She's like, the rural juror. No. The rural juror. The rural juror. Anyway, culturally.
Yeah,
thank you.
Okay. I think I fucked it up for you. You were like,
scared.
What?
I thought it was gone forever.
I've never had a hard time with that word before. I don't know what's happening.
Pregnancy.
Blame everything on pregnancy.
Yes, do
it's
it.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that happens. Things happen in the culture.
That change things. That change the landscape.
That change things.
Yeah.
And I think we're also always discovering like new layers, you know, of how it impacts you.
That is so true, especially in like what we talk about. There's like, and it's so, I mean, I feel like it's so dynamically tied to like the experiences that we're going through in our life. So as life unfolds, like the topics in this podcast unfold.
And the reason we like talking about it is because this is the thing that the more you're aware of it, working on it, questioning it, curious about it, I think like the better your life gets.
And I think the more present in your life you are. Yeah.
Like, yeah. The more awareness you have, I don't know. And so that's also why it's good, because it's like you suddenly start to become really aware of things. Like, I don't know. It's been really top of mind lately just because Ben and I are like discussing some potential like big life shifts, and like it's all beliefs. It's all just like we're all just bumping up against our beliefs around like what we thought life would look like, what it should look like. Where did that come from? Oh, it's our parents. Like,
yeah. It's so powerful. Having that be like a fundamental like element in your relationship, like it is in our friendship, it is in your marriage. Like it's like, it's so important. It's so important to me.
Me too.
It gives so much like opportunity for insight and growth, all the things. Yes.
And it's those kinds of like questions and working on those things is how you identify self-limiting beliefs and stop holding yourself back.
Yeah.
Which my intention for 2023, by the way, because I'm going to just segue into, we were going to ask each other some of these reflection questions.
Yes.
And I actually kind of want to find a better way to word this. But my intention for 2023 is like basically something to the effect of, I'm just not going to unnecessarily to torture myself mentally.
Oh, that's a great one. I'm so happy about that one.
That's my mantra. I'm just going to like notice it when it's happening and be like, no, it can be easy.
It's that whole, I don't cause myself pain.
Yeah.
Like
that's it.
I don't create pain for myself.
I'm not going to create unnecessary pain and suffering for myself with my thoughts in 2023. Yeah. I'm just going to like notice it, be like, oh, that's the thing I promised I wouldn't do this year. And I'm just like not going to like engage.
I think that's so
I'll let you know how that works out.
Well, I'm excited about this one because this is such a big one. This was such a big one that came up in my, like with all my students, like this, I'm just kind of like, just being able to point it out. Do you see the pain you're creating for yourself with the stories you're telling yourself? All that. I had my like, because my birthday was just a couple weeks ago, and I had my like birthday post, which was, and this was very much from Jaya John's, like a lot of his work in his books, the book I gave you, The Daughter Drink from This Water. But so go check that out because it's just lovely. But it's this, so lovely. It's this thought that like kind of similar in that same vein, but it's the stories I tell myself will be the stories that heal me. That like,
yes, because maybe that's what I need to take it one step further.
Take it, because there's two layers. There's like stopping the pain, but then there's like the stories and the thoughts and the things actually cultivate joy and healing and trust. And like, it can be twofold like that. I mean, it's both, right? Like there's the not engaging in the habitual whatever, ruminating.
I'm like trying to figure out if I want to take it one step further. I think
maybe it's a two-phase. Maybe it's a two-phase thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Because I think that the way in which I'm thinking about how I'm doing it, and especially how I've been practicing it like the last few weeks, it's actually like making the choice to do that and then being able to identify when it's happening and just like choosing not to has been like not. And I know it won't always be easy, but it's been kind of easy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just like, no. I'm just
You're
like not
really
going
ready
to make
for it
for myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just not.
Yeah, you're really
like,
ready
just
for
like
that.
Little things like being nervous for an event I'm hosting. I'm like, no.
You've done that plenty.
I'm not
like,
going
and it doesn't.
I'm not going to be nervous.
I'm
good. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
What's supposed to happen will happen. Like, I'm prepared. There we go.
I love it. I really, really like that a lot. And I feel that like that makes so much sense in how your life is unfolding.
It's like, it feels, for me, it feels more, actually, you know what it is? I think it just feels simple.
It's like a simplifying. Yeah.
But choosing to do the healing route is like kind of like more work.
Adding.
And I think I'm trying to just like
less.
I'm trying to do like less.
I really like that. Actually,
not
there's
more.
like there's something there that's really important.
And honestly, I think that's why I'm like, I think I'm gonna stick with the just like not.
I think that the doing less, I think it's going to inevitably have like this, like by removing suffering, right? And removing like the pain that you're causing yourself, it's going to inherently create ease and joy and like these other things. Like it might not be like, it might just be a product, like a result of the less,
Yeah. No, I think, yeah. I think, because I'm trying to simplify my life also for like maternity leave. And simplifying my life is actually quite hard for me. So that's something else that's like part of this that people might not necessarily know, that you definitely know, is I have a hard time like with simplicity. I get like bored.
Yeah.
And so I think part of it is like also trying to tap into that and being just like, okay, like I really want to like for the first month of maternity leave, like have like a really simple like life and day and be okay in that.
Yeah.
which I can see myself getting uncomfortable and like creating projects for myself. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean?
Yeah. I'm really
Anyway.
excited. I'm really excited to like, because I think tackling this idea and having it coincide with baby coming, I think is going to be really special, because it would be, I think, really hard for you to do this like simple thing in its own like vacuum. But you have this like really, really great reason, you know, you have this,
Right.
right? Like
Right.
you have this like, you still have purpose, even if there's like kind of like nothing happening. There's still this like deep purpose, and I've got a sleeping baby on top of me, or like whatever it is
Yeah.
I'm nursing. Like
Like
I,
I
yeah,
want I want I see that actually being really hard for me, and I want to like kind of force myself to do it,
cultivate it
basically.
intentionally. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah, you said it so much nicer. And I want to force myself to do it. You're like, yeah,
like
cultivate it
cultivating.
intentionally. Translation. I'm like, I want to shove it, simplicity, down my throat.
Oh my God, that was such a good like
And
us.
yeah, that really was. That was like who we are in a nutshell.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm crying.
It's funny because Ben is like, I was made for this. Like he's like,
Uh-huh.
he loves a simple day. He's like, oof, monotony, simplicity,
Mm-hmm.
routine. I'm just like, oh fuck.
Yeah, there'll be a level of it that like works, but like, I mean, I was teaching classes with a 2 week old. Like I couldn't, there was like a level of like, I couldn't, I had to have some,
Yeah.
but it might just be different. Like maybe it's going to the beach, or going to, maybe it's like, it's different, and it's not like thrown into like working or
Who
something like that. I don't know.
and maybe I won't like be able to do it. And I'll be like, okay, I can
Never
do this for
mind.
2 weeks. I'm
Yeah.
done. I
And then
don't
that's okay.
know.
I mean, the other thing is I think it's a big experiment, and you got to
It
give
is an
yourself
experiment.
permission for it to be, because I know for a fact, like literally your human design, you are made to be able to have 100 spinning plates and feel really lit
I
up.
love it.
You wake up at, going a million miles an hour with like cold brew in your face. Like that is like how you are designed. So there's like, I don't think you're ever going to really feel fully alive with like a really, really simple, like for a long term. Like I think it's going to be a
Well,
really great
this will be
practice for now,
hilarious to
but
come back from maternity
and
leave and
see,
like
yeah.
laugh about what happened.
I know, because people have asked me, they're like, how do you think Sarah's gonna do
Oh,
the like
really?
yeah, like how do you think Sarah's
That's
gonna do
funny.
the, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm really like interested to see, but I do feel like that
That's
there might
funny.
come a point where you're like,
That's
I'm
I gotta do more.
I'm all done with the, yeah.
I need more.
I need more plates spinning over the air.
Yeah, that's so funny. That's so
Hmm.
funny. I have no idea. You never know until you're
You
in it.
don't.
That's
I
the
know.
thing.
Hmm.
That's the
And
thing.
to give yourself
Okay.
permission to be curious, to be, yeah. Okay, what?
I want to ask you some questions cuz
Well,
these are
can
my
I
reflection questions. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I want to say my intention for next year. You said yours.
Oh, sorry. I, I thought you said it was the
Oh, I guess that was kind of, I don't
but
know
that
if
came
that,
out of your mentorship program. That's not
yeah,
yours.
that was
Right.
kind of just like a reflective thing. I think this is my thing. I think it might get more specific too. I don't know if it's like fully
Okay.
defined yet, but and it's interesting because like months and months and months ago, we did a podcast on this, but I want to like massively raise my baseline. Like I feel like my baseline was so fucking low
What
this last
baseline though?
year.
There's like so many baselines.
Oh, of like my quality of life.
Okay.
like just quality of life, enjoyment of life, just functionality of life. I feel like I was in survival mode for 2
Yeah, you
years.
were. Yeah.
And my quality of life suffered. When you're in survival mode, you're like, I was like depressed napping. Like it just was not, it wasn't great. And now that I've like shifted, right, and I'm in this like new phase of life, and I really, really feel it now moving into 2023. It's like I'm recognizing that there are certain, I mean, 2 years is a long time to be in like full fight or flight for like anybody. I mean, people spend, anyway, and I'm recognizing that I think that there are certain there's certain maybe habits or behaviors or tendencies that got established in survival mode that I want to reprogram and redo and rewrite and really like raise my baseline up. So things from like
Yeah, I was
taking care
just
of my
gonna ask you to
body,
elaborate. Mm-hmm.
taking care of my body, because that was one that suffered, right? Like when I, because I mean, if I'm like in fight or flight and fully stressed out, like food, that's the first thing that goes. I'm not eating. I'm not taking care of my body. And all these things I've already been establishing over the last few months. I feel like this year is the year to really cultivate that and really intentionally establish this is what makes me feel strong and good and alive and productive and like present. And so it's going to be everything from like that, like nourishing my body, moving my body, my space, my home, really dialing it in there. And just like, I guess, like my time with my girls, you know, and having that be really, really intentional and really high quality. And then also in there, I think having some things like cultivate. A big thing that kind of fell away for me was music. That's like was such
Me
a big
too.
part of my life.
COVID like did that to me.
Like I used to, and it's funny because I've like made a bunch of new friends and everything, but and everything like that, and they're like, "Oh, you play the piano or the guitar?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that was such a big part of my life for such a long time," and all of that kind of like fell away. So I think really cultivating music in my life, continuing to cultivate art, like that kind of stuff. I think like being really intentional because those things like bring me so much joy and make me feel so alive. It's very abundant, which is why it makes sense. It kind of fell away when I was in survival mode. So that's like think like looking into 2023 what it is.
I love that. So
Yeah.
raising your baselines, I think it might be helpful to like have you written about specific baselines though?
Like where they are at right now.
Like just some of the
Yeah.
things you've named: health,
Yeah.
nutrition, work, maybe working out, uh time with your girls. I don't know, I think identifying like specific baselines, because I feel like it's such an important process. And actually what's coming to mind is that Jonah Hill movie, the Stutz movie,
Yeah.
which you
I'm
haven't
excited to
seen
watch
yet,
it.
and
Yeah.
you're gonna watch and we're gonna talk about it, because I think a bunch is gonna resonate with you. One concept he talks a lot about how he just like was frustrated as a therapist with like the neutrality of it, and how he didn't feel like the way in which it was structured made it take so much longer for people to find healing. And so he started creating these like systems and tools actually for helping people. And the like number one piece of advice he has is that even if you're lost and you like don't know what's next or whatever, he's like, you can always work on strengthening your life force. And then the way he like defines strengthening or like your life force is it's like a little pyramid, and the bottom thing is your relationship with your body. And so he talks about how like even if you're just like, he's like, what you can do to like just pull yourself out of depression and stuff like that is like eating well, working out, moving, like that. Like sometimes that's like all you can do. And then the next one's people, and then the top one is like yourself. But I was just like, I don't know, I really love the simplicity of it, and how it's definitely been a theme in my life. Like when shit has been really hard and dark, like sometimes that's, you just have to like, what are my baselines? How can I raise them? How can I find also like new non-negotiables? Like, you know, like prioritizing things where you're like, this clearly makes me feel better. Why am I not doing it consistently?
Yeah.
You know, and getting to a place where like that one thing is like now consistently a part of your life, and there's less resistance to doing it, less resistance to getting started on it. And then once you just take care of that like one thing and you make that the priority for like maybe a month or two, it kind of runs almost more on autopilot, and then you can like shift focus to another thing. So I don't know, I'd just be interested to hear like more about like specific baselines and like specifics. Anyway.
Yeah, that's so good. I can't wait to watch that movie. And yeah, I want to like get dialed in and do some,
because that's in my
like,
book actually, is raising your baselines, and I like have the different categories.
Oh, well, maybe I could like read your book sometime. that sounded really snotty. I do want to read your book. Maybe I could read your book.
Yeah.
Or maybe you could,
Yeah.
can you take
I just made a list of baselines.
Can I have the list?
Yeah, I have a list of baselines.
Text me the fucking list.
You're not gonna be surprised. I feel like you reading my book is just gonna be like you know everything already.
I cannot wait to read it. It's gonna make my
You've
heart
read the first chapter. That one's
explode. I know.
Yeah,
I just cried
it's almost done. It's very
I am
exciting.
so excited.
Now I'm now reading the first whole part of it. Like I've been individual chapters are done. And now I'm reading the whole, like 1 through 5
cohesively,
like all the way through and doing an editing pass like that. Anyway,
that's so exciting. I'm so freaking excited. When is the just at sometime this year? Later after baby?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Sometime this year.
I'm trying to be finished with it before maternity leave, which would be March, but that doesn't mean it will be out.
Right.
But that means I'm done like writing and editing.
Yeah. We should do, anyway. I feel like whenever it comes out, it would be fun to do like an episode where we'd like talk about like that process for you and like, cause it's been such like a labor of love. Like it's been like a whole situation. Yeah.
It's fuck, man. Writing books is hard. It takes a long time. Yeah. And I enlisted a lot of help, you know, I like, working with a bunch of really awesome like editors and people who like, you know, really like read and help you like think through things and stuff like that. Which I think was important for the first time. Anyway, why are we talking about my book? Emily, what was an unexpected joy this past year? I want to ask a few of these questions because I am excited to hear them. What was an unexpected joy this past year?
Okay, well, the first one that's like coming to mind is very much like a joy, like a reigniting, like a joy within me around dancing, being part of like this dance company and doing a performance. And that was totally something out of left field. And it was something that like brought so much, it brought like so much life into me in the midst of like the fetal position, depression, napping. Like it was really, really important for me. And I think that was definitely like one of many really that came, that came to the top of my mind. What about you? Unexpected joy.
I mean, like 2 things come to mind for me. One, and I don't know how to like verbalize this because it feels really big, I guess. But I just think the way like mine and Ben's relationship has unfolded, I don't know. It still surprises me all the time. And this year and getting married and how that all felt was like, just like better than I could have ever imagined. Like really, like I could have, I don't know. It was so fucking healing. Like Ben has been so healing for me in so many ways, in so many unexpected ways. And so I don't know, like, especially like getting married, you know, like that was
so big. Yeah.
I don't know. That was such a big wound, you know, in my heart and life that feels really healed. So I'd say that. The other thing that comes to mind, an unexpected joy this year, was how fucking fun it was to do an event with you.
Oh my, that was definitely unexpected. It was so random and amazing.
I knew it was going to be like fun and like it felt really reassuring to like have you be a part of it. But it was, I don't know, like something like special happened where I was like, I want to like make more events with you.
Yeah.
That one, I don't know.
So
the
good.
annual event for Write Your Way to Freedom was like very like it was unexpectedly like more amazing than and again it wasn't like anything I feel like it wasn't anything necessarily that we did. It was like what happened when we came together.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then also all the people. Like I just was like, fuck. And it just made me want to do more in-person events.
Yeah. That's such a good one.
Those are my 2.
And honestly, that one that literally was like the catalyst, I think, for the other like unexpected like joys, which I think was like launching my course and like getting to do
Mm.
like more work with even like your students and your team and like all this stuff that I kind of felt like that work was like I was kept pushing it into the future, and doing that annual event was like, no, this is like now. This is like this is for
Mm.
right now. And it like launched me into doing work that I feel like truly is so in alignment with like my fucking soul, like so in alignment. And that has brought like deep joy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what will you choose to remember 2022 for?
Fuck.
I really like the way that question's worded because
Mhm.
it's a choice. We actually, Ben always talks about this, but like we assign meaning to the past, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And we do it, we choose. Like, so
Yeah.
I love the word choose in that
Yeah.
question. What
I
will
feel
you
like
choose to remember 2022 for? Because there's a lot of things
there's a lot
that
of
you could
things.
choose to you could choose to remember 2022 for.
Oh, fuck. I
And
know.
it's
Yeah.
like that's the stories that we create, right? Like
Mhm.
it's like
Mhm.
I don't know, it's just highlighting the active choice of writing the story of
I really do
2022.
like that because I do feel like my brain is like defaulting to like 2021 was the year I got separated. 2022 was the year I was divorced, right? Like, and those are
Yep,
like
I
the
know, I know.
big
That's why I was so
thematic
excited to hear your answer.
things, right? And it's so fucking funny that we're talking about it because just today I was reflecting on, I was like, how much I'm defining my timeline based on that heartbreak, even though it was like massively defining and kind of took up a lot of my life for 2 years. But I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need to chew on this a bit more. But it's funny because this thought had already started literally today, and because I do like the idea of like maybe choosing to look at 2022 as like the year I like stepped into my like fucking autonomy and
Mm.
agency as a human, and like more of my personal power and like capability that I got to like prove so much to myself, that I was like capable of so much, that I previously, I think, didn't believe I don't know, had it in me. I don't know what, so I really, really like that question. I think, I don't know, I haven't like landed yet, but I think just you asking that to me even is really like helping crystallize that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I'm gonna circle back because I want to
Yes.
know. Because it's funny, even reading the question, I was like, ugh, I like knew so much of what you like are saying right now was like
Uh-huh.
probably how you were feeling, right?
Yeah.
Like you could be
Yeah.
like, that's the year I got divorced,
Yeah.
or you could be like, that was the year that I like, yeah, stepped into my personal power.
Yeah. Mm.
Love that.
Whew.
Okay.
Yeah. You?
Um,
That was the year you got married.
I feel like for me, it's the year for me, oh man, so much fucking
So
happened this year.
much.
Fuck.
So much happened.
Fuck. um, okay, well, the theme is across business and personal life. 2022 was kind of the year I like stopped being small.
Yes. Fuck yes. Oh, I just had full body chills. Yes.
It really was like
Yes.
in business and
In
personally, where I
relationship.
just was
Yeah.
like, no, like I started asking for my needs to be met more.
Mm-hmm.
I got married, and that was like incredibly healing. And I'm building a family with Ben, and that is something that used to terrify me, the idea of, and I started like releasing some like protective ultra independence, and then
Mm-hmm.
and same with this with work too. Like I built a team,
Yeah.
released some of the control, um and it's been fucking awesome.
Yeah. It's been such.
Trust, there's been like a really like rooting into like more just like trust and faith in
Yeah.
I don't know, the universe, myself,
yourself,
Ben,
mm-hmm.
other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fucking beautiful. And it's so true. Like, it's been really like, it's been such an expansive year for you. Like, in so many areas. But it was like kind of
rapidly expansive.
White knuckling, like holding your breath in some areas. Yeah.
Did I tell you about how we were at a party the other night and our friend was like, we haven't seen him in a while. And he was like, hey, you two. He was like, so good to see you. I've just been seeing things unfold on Instagram this year. And I feel like, that little game of life? You guys have just been like shooting around the board. He was like, you're just like filling up the little car. Like, he's like,
oh my
he's like,
God.
and I'm just still like at the beginning of the game. I don't even know. But like,
yeah,
you guys have like done the whole game of life, I feel like, this year. We both laughed so hard.
That is such a good read. Yeah.
We feel like this year was like 3 years.
Yeah. It was so jam-packed. It was so jam-packed of so much. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like all the growth that you guys did in this year was because of your commitment to that. Like, I think it's like that can happen because you guys were intentional. You were committed to each other, to it, like your business, your work. And I think like the integrity in which you and Ben have showed up in your relationship, and that you've shown up in your business, like that has cultivated the space for all that rapid growth to happen. Whereas for somebody else, I don't know, this could have taken 10 years, what you guys did in a year. And so I think it's like, we're capable of such like exponential like growth and transformation, but there needs to be like a willingness, I think. And I think you guys were just like really willing to experience it,
Yeah. Asking for help along the way is a big part of it, Just like reaching out. Like so much of this year was like also asking for help and being okay with that in so many ways. And just not trying to like do it all on my own in my own head. Like that this year would have happened if I did that. So getting more comfortable like asking for help and advice and thoughts has been a big part of that.
Yes. Wow.
Well, I was gonna ask you intentions, but why don't we just like do that for the next one?
Roll it over. Yeah.
Roll it over. So next week we'll talk about intentions.
Yeah.
I kind of like it, especially now that you have some stuff to chew on.
I have stuff to chew on. I do. Yes. Those are some good ones. I think there's a part of me that's been a little resistant around like reflecting about this year.
Interesting.
Because I did not even do it the year before. Like I didn't even, there was like,
there was my life.
Yeah. There was no reflections or intentions. It was just like a black hole. It was like nothing.
He was just like, live.
I just survive, maybe. I don't know. But so this year, I think I felt a little resistant because I knew the reflections in those, there's a lot of pain, there's also like a lot of good. And I mean, that has definitely been like, I guess another big theme is realizing that I can experience like deep, like pain and massive joy at the same exact time. And that within that, like giving myself permission to lean into that has made me feel like more alive than I think I've ever felt.
I can't wait for you to watch Stutz.
Stutz.
This is like one of the things he says. I have to say it. I'm sorry. It's painful. It's like
say it
bursting out of my mouth. But this is like one of the things he talks about is he's like pain, uncertainty, and work. Like just work, not just like career work, but like work on yourself and life, whatever. He's like, those are 3 constants that are always there. And the key is to like figuring out how to continue to move forward with all of it and even like in embracing it. And one of the things he talks about is like in the place where people see massive growth is when they, in the face of like depression, difficulties, tragedy, grief, fucking show up for themselves anyway and like do good, like do things for them like selves, like build something. He was like those people who can figure out how to do that like that's how you experience like tremendous healing and growth. And I was just like, oh,
yes, that speaks to
Emily.
me so much. I know,
I
it
know.
does. It really
I was
does.
like,
Because
oh my
there's,
God.
as I remember, even in like the deepest, like darkest, that I just like felt like I couldn't get out of bed some days, you know, I
Mm-hmm.
still crawled out of bed, took my girls to school, crawled my ass into a little studio and made fucking jewelry. Like, and then, and it was this thing for me that I remember when all my jewelry was picked up in this little store downtown, and I took my girls, like in the midst of the heavy, and I took my
Mm-hmm.
girls to see it. And I was just, they were looking at me and they're like, Mom, we're so proud of you. And I remember I had this like moment where I was like, I am showing my girls that like you can make beautiful things even when things are like really, really hard, you
Oh, I'm
know?
gonna
And
cry.
I know I'm crying. And like, and I'm so glad like I had that. Like I was able to like dig into it, even though it was little, like it was just a handful of, it wasn't anything spectacular, but it was like this little representation that I was like still showing up. Like I was still
Mm-hmm.
showing up, and I wasn't giving up, and I wasn't like gonna let all the pain crush me, you know? Ugh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. It also like really calls into something that I think we've talked about before and has always been on my mind, because I feel like I have learned how to do this sometimes, which is kind of like seeing the beauty in the pain. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Because when you've gone through enough pain and you know that it's gonna like create something, like it's gonna be okay, and that
Yeah.
it's gonna create some lessons, some growth. And when you have that faith,
Yeah.
when you're in it, you can almost observe the beauty of it as it's happening,
Mm-hmm.
which is something that has been like really new for me, because I like in pain or whatever, I've like kind of thought about this and been able to like see it.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a weird thing because it's like I don't know. It's hard to articulate, but
It's
I think
never
it's
all
important.
it's never all dark. It's this concept of intrinsic light. Like within the pain, within the darkness, there
Mhm.
is something in there always. You know, it's never one or the other. It's always both and I think that is such a huge a level of self-trust to know. I trust myself that
Yeah.
in pain,
Mhm.
I know that I will grow because of this. I know that I will learn, or whatever the thing is that is bringing you like joy or hope or faith. Yeah.
And it makes the pain less painful. It makes it like meaningful and beautiful and um
It
I don't
makes
know.
it less all consuming, I think. It makes it less
Mhm.
like this is who I am now. Like I am
Mhm.
only pain, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Ooh, I love this. All
Ooh,
right. Next
okay.
time, let's do intentions.
Intentions. All right. I love you. Thanks for tuning in,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, guys.